going to talk to you a little bit about the equipment that a Civil War soldier, in this case, Union federal soldier, would wear on a day-to-day basis. Go ahead.
Morning.
Morning.
I'm portraying a private in the 125th Ohio Volunteer Infantry. What you see here basically is our winter uniform. This is also our spring uniform and our summer uniform. You get the idea. So basically, it's wool. It actually serves a couple purposes. It's very breathable. It's not as bad as you may think. It provides good warmth, but it also can provide warmth when it's wet. It also is somewhat fire retardant when you're dealing with the arms that we have here. There's sparks and there's powder and things flying around, campfires. You don't want something that's going to ignite on you. So wool actually is not that bad. My headgear here, I'm wearing what we call a forage cap. And if you look at it, it's kind of folded over. It's a throwback from an earlier era, earlier wars. But if you look at it, you can use it like a bucket. So there's your forage cap. You're picking apples, whatever. You can throw them in your cap and you can forage. A lot of the gentlemen you see behind me are wearing, the young men here are wearing the smaller caps. And then one of the more popular ones is the slouch hat. Hat that would provide some protection from sun and rain and that. And so by this time in the Western theater, late in the war, a lot of guys opted for the slouch hat. As far as my accoutrements here, my leathers, I have my cartridge box, and normally a soldier would carry between 40 and 50 rounds in the box. A cap box, these are all for loading. You'll see that demonstration a little bit later. My utility belt with my bayonet, and I'll come back to that in a second. I also have a haversack, which I would keep a lot of personal items, some toothbrush, maybe some reading and writing utensils, whatever in there, and then of course my canteen. As far as the bayonet goes, of course everyone knows what a bayonet is for. It's, place it on your rifle, you have another weapon like a lance or a spear. But the soldiers would also use it as a digging implement in a lot of cases. Dig a trench, and if you're in a bad situation, they could dig a pretty quick trench to save their own lives. It also can be used as a candle holder. Nice candle fits right in there. Stick it in the ground, and you have light. So a very versatile tool, versatile piece of equipment. The rifle I'm carrying is an 1853 Enfield. It's a British-made rifle. It was prevalent in the Confederacy and in the Union troops. The Union troops carried them. Another rifle, and I don't know if we have them in the mix here today, but is a 1861 Springfield, which is a U.S.-made rifle that the Union normally carried. If you look at some history, a lot of times the soldiers would opt for the Enfield. It had some attributes and some benefits over the Springfield, and tended to be, what we find out, is a little more reliable of a rifle. Foot gear. The shoes I have on are called brogans. Some gentlemen may have on boots, but most the shoes and the foot gear they wore were the brogans. The brogans came about in the 1850s. They started issuing late 1840s, and it was prevalent and worn by both sides throughout the war. And let's see, have I left out anything? Any questions? Wool socks. You're right, and more wool. What do you know? Yeah, and the hobnails in the shoes. So, if you'll notice on the bottom of his shoes there's some nails. Great for traction. If you look at mine, not so much. It's very slippery. So, the hobnails are a great addition to the shoe, to the foot gear. Any questions? Yes, sir.
The rifle you're carrying, what would be the effective range of that?
About 100 yards. They have been known to fire even further, up to 300 yards in a lot of cases. That is very, very accurate.
You could kill a man up to 500 to 600 yards.
Effective to 300.
Smoothbore.
No, this is actually a rifled musket.
It is rifled?
Yep. So that was the difference. Part of the problem, I don't want to get too in depth. I know we have limited time. A lot of especially in the early war, where you see the men line up and march across the field and they're firing into masses of each other. Those were old techniques, Napoleon era and that, designed for smoothbore. With the rifled musket, a lot more accuracy, a lot more casualties. So as the war drug on, that you saw a lot of that troop movement in the open tend to pull back some and be more tactical to negate some of that accuracy from the rifles.